I got a timer right here now, so I can see. Can't usually see.
Yeah.
All right. What's up, everybody? My name is Cheat Code. To my left,
Maggiano.
Josh Jordan.
Racel.
and this is a little something new that was powered by CSSB right here in the new podcast production room. Just a little something to kind of get out of the norm of the interviews. It's a little bit of a roundtable thing. We'll talk about one topic. It'll be a lot shorter, but just something to get our thoughts off a little bit more.
Hey, Racel fell asleep.
That's a great start.
I have not been having no sleep, bro.
Yeah, you good?
I'm more comfortable in the studio than I am right now. Outside the studio at the
He
home.
said,
Sorry.
damn, this is real peaceful.
It's real peaceful back here. I ain't stressed. I ain't have nobody wake me up. Okay, let me wake up.
But yeah, man. So today, there's been a lot of, been talking to my Twitter brother over here too, real quick. He's been seeing it. We've got a lot of opinions, as we always do, on content creation.
Facts.
Versus being a music artist and how those kind of might blend together. You know, whether they're good, bad, neutral. Every opinion is on.
Brother, did you sell me $4? For what? The what?
The fucking.
It's off the love, bro.
Oh, for the Noah's Bagels?
Yeah.
I was off the love, nigga.
Off the strength.
Off the strength
I'm sending
of
this
the
back
love.
to you, locking up both our accounts.
That was
Block him, bro.
Shit.
I'm locking up both of them.
No, that
Zell gonna
was
think we
off the strength.
scamming.
Block that, brother.
You fucking up already. You wasted 2 minutes. No,
My
I'm just
bad,
fucking
bro.
with
I
you.
know.
I'm
That's the
just
second
fucking
left
with
turn, but that's the whole point of this.
you. Yeah. I'm just fucking with you.
All right, so what we on, Cheats? We talk about...
But yeah, that's it. You know, if anybody
Quote.
wants to open the floor up, basically, like I said, there's plenty of opinions on it.
So content creation, quality versus quantity type of deal.
Yeah.
Making all of I've heard people refer to it as like like a hustle culture, and a lot of it bleeds into like the Instagram part of it of like, hey, if you're not creating content, you're not taking yourself serious. And then there's the other side of it where you hear the artist talking about, I'm a musician. I make the music that speaks to my heart and that speaks to the people around me. And it's not about creating content. Is that kind of what you're...
Kind of. And then I think for me, it looked like anyway, I don't know if this was actually the start in this spurt. You know, Twitter goes off and on, right? Like they'll be talking about a topic and then they'll stop and then they'll bring it back up later. But the first thing that I seen that like spurred this was there was an A&R who did like a video. And Russ responded to it because he was talking about, like, if he goes and looks at your page and you have too much music, it's like a turnoff for him. And then Russ was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, basically, in his response to him. Like, I don't know who this is, but, like, and then now it's...
I seen that.
Conversations happening everywhere.
Yeah, that was crazy.
All right.
He really had a whole thread, you know what I'm saying? But that's how Twitter works, right?
But yeah, it triggered off Russ to go off about like the purpose of content creating and like how it divides and how you necessarily don't need a music video to really like make it as an artist nowadays. You can just make these 30-second clips with just like your song chopped up and clipped up with lyrics on it, et cetera, or just make a day in the life video.
Yeah.
All from like the power of your phone or just like your resources that you have. So I feel like it's necessary. It's a new renaissance, like in a way.
TikTok was like the to me it was like what really shook that was where people started not having music videos, but the virality. What do they call it? The ability to go viral, like became
Virality.
whatever that word is. Like, you know what I'm saying? It became a lot higher. The idea that you could have somebody just dancing to your song, and that could damn near be higher value. You know, I mean, we're talking about this. That's damn near like another version of micro-influencer marketing, right? To have like a dancer dancing to your music that's not like super popping or crazy, but it's just somebody that's really doing some dope shit, and now it's got fucking 8 million spins on TikTok.
Like how you can have like a painter paint into your song. Like, your song
Jesus. Have somebody twerk.
Cedric,
Yeah, I mean, you remember early on, people was doing that. They was doing the my song contest and stuff. Who can come up with the best dance video or the best quote unquote, whatever video to my song,
or
and they'd be like, "Oh, I
best
got
verses.
$50 and shit like that." Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was kind of the early on. But when you talk about that micro influencer marketing, that was like that early on of seeing the power of being able to get 10 or 15 of your actual like followers or people who's actually engaged to do something versus trying to shoot for one big repost or something.
See, this is why I fuck with you, bro. I be learning new shit every time I'm with y'all. But the micro, what do you call it?
Micro content?
Yeah, that shit. I like that word. That's a good phrase. I always knew there was a phrase for it, but I just never knew what it was.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, that's what we're talking about. We big on micro content over here. That's definitely something that, which I think is it's not a loaded question, but you definitely know where we sit with it. And I know that we kind of, we're very aware of, everybody kind of has their own perspective. So we kind of, allow everybody to speak their mind. I think all of us in the room are kind of on the same page. I mean, I think for the most part, I got a little bit of differentiation. Yeah, that we talked about.
I feel like Maz is a little bit. But I'll say this too, is that, like you said, I think that we lean more into it being a necessity, and like that's just kind of how it goes. But part of the conversation has become, does it hurt the music? And part of it has become like, should they be content creators or yada yada? And I saw like one tweet, which like to me it's basically in response again, but they just don't respond directly. Is it being, you're focused more on the content than you are the music. And so in that light, I can get that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shouldn't ever happen.
You gotta find balance.
Yeah, exactly. You should always be more focused on the music because you're an artist at the end of the day.
The content just gets created as the music is going and getting created.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where I sit a little bit on the spectrum, is more so I'm not against content creation, but kind of like that comment you're referencing is just more so like, I see how if we do get, like as artists, if we do get so caught up in the content creation, then we can lose sight of what our actual original content is, which is the music, which is our craft. That's actually content, you know what I'm saying? As you get in the studio and you make that song, you make that music video, that's all content still in its own. So that's just kind of where I look at it a little bit. It's just like, I see it starting to become so much of a necessity now, or like artists starting to see that as like, this is what I have to do, this is what I have to do. And I feel like it can get discouraging for, artists who are a little bit on that other side of the spectrum, who are so focused on like, oh, I just really want to make dope music. I want to make something that's fire and get it to this level that I want it to be at before I put it out, And I think
Facts.
with the content creator society, and it's not to bash it or anything, but content is coming out so rapid. So like an artist who generally would like to take a little bit of time in between them doing something so that they can really, craft it out the way they want to, they're now feeling pressured, like, okay, now I have to follow up again in 2 weeks. I got to follow up again in a week or something like that,
Got it out.
Or like in a day or some shit,
Right.
And even though I think you brought up a really good point when you said, artists are feeling the necessity to do it. And part of it obviously comes from, well, that's what they're seeing on social medias, you know what I'm saying, or other people doing it. And then it makes you question, what that's rooted in. And I heard La Russell in one of his early interviews was talking about, the reason that he started creating content and started clipping interviews was because he saw what mainstream artists were putting out in their EPKs and what was coming out in their electronic press kits. And he saw music videos and short form lyric videos and interviews. And he said, well, if that's what a label is going to provide, that's what I'm going to try to aim for. And I feel like, don't quote me on that. It might not be word for word that, but you know what I'm saying? something along those lines, you know what I mean? And I think now we have this oversaturation of, well, if everybody has that understanding, now there's this wave of content, which now gets back to the same issue we were having before, which is kind of like when you're in this boat of people that are all putting out music, you have to try to do something that, right, you're asking people to dance to it, you're asking people to do X, Y, Z, and now it's the same thing to where now if everybody's making content and that's becoming the necessity, well, then what is it that's going to be that differentiates you? If you're putting out the same music and the same content that, other people are putting out, is there something else that can grow out of that, or because I hear that for sure. And all of a sudden it's very like robotic and it's very like, okay.
I feel like it can also, like he said, like it has its pros and cons. Like it can be helpful, but it can also be detrimental to like the artist and like what our purpose is and like the reason why we making music. Like we're not making music to keep up with people, right? Because our general consensus, like, is to mainly keep up with ourselves, like, instead of trying to keep up with everybody else. But society has that thing to where it was this one wave of thing, they're gonna take it and milk it off. But it does has its pros though, like.
Yeah. I feel like too that this is all rooted in like putting this already happens like when you put too much pressure on yourself. Like so I think that like that's part of why I find the conversation so interesting when it comes up is because it just feels like so much overthinking. Like you're supposed to be natural with all of this stuff and you're supposed to find a way for it to work for you. Yeah. And that's what I feel like gets lost because like you said, you look at it and you want to keep up. And when I see that and I'm like, you know, because everyone falls in different spectrums, like you say, you know, there's plenty of people who either do less content or the content is different, but you have to find a way for you to make it work. Like you were saying, like the people who maybe want to take their time a little bit. I feel like there's local examples of that working. Like I feel like we've talked to John Wild. He put out 4 songs last year, 3 maybe, but he was constantly in your face with something. You know what I'm saying? Right. He found a way to be true to what he's talking about, which is you don't have to drop every week. You know, I've heard him say that literally. Like you don't have to drop music every week. You know, you don't have to do certain things every week. But you have to find a way to still perceive yourself in the eye. You know what I'm saying? Whether that's performances or still a lot of content, but naturally to you, because not everybody's gonna make lyric videos. Like,
I think his short form content was just acoustic music videos because he plays guitar and shit, and it makes sense. So he just was doing the acoustic videos.
To kind of piggyback on what Rizzo was saying earlier, like with it being the pros and cons, I think one of the really good pros that comes out of it is like consistency. You know, it forces an artist, whether they like it or not, to start thinking in that consistent mindset of whatever I'm doing, whether it's 3 months in between, 6 months in between, I have to stay consistent. I can't just
can't fall off completely.
Yeah, I can't just fall off completely and then pop back up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think that's one of the, like I said, I think that's one of the pros that definitely comes from that.
And I'll say that if you look back at like some of the artists that like we all admire and stuff like that, like I feel like they did show up consistently in their own way. You know what I'm saying? Whether, you know, LaRussell is 3 times a day posting everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Some people are a song a week.
Yeah.
But it's the song. It's just the songs. You know what I'm saying? And maybe they'll still do some of the marketing or whatever and stuff like that. Some people are going to every show. You know what I'm saying?
Like even before he started doing three times a day or whatever, and like before everything like kind of came to what it is, every time he dropped, it was always like even locally like a moment. Like everybody in the town would, like surround themselves to it and like go to it. So he always had the quality down, but I think it was more so like, okay, I'm gonna try this 30-day run and go with it. But I picked that up, I think, after coming from LA, and we did the groundwork interview, and we did like the joint post, and then I started getting like my shit flooded, and I'm like, okay, this ain't never happened like that, because I would only post like once a month, twice a month or whatever. I'll post like a video clip like every like once a week or so, delete that video clip if it didn't do well enough, and then but once I started like realizing, okay, I could chop this interview up and post this every day, post a clip every single day. And then like I was like, okay. And then like it clicked in my head, and I was like, okay, that's what Russell does. Like this is okay, cool. But and then the next day he posted a clip from an interview saying, yeah, we just chop it up into 10-second clips. And I was like, oh fuck, like I was literally just thinking about this. Like in my head, like it wasn't a thing where I went and go ask. It was like a thing where it just popped up. So I was like, so let me try this out. So I tried it from like September all the way to like, I say like December. I kind of fell off like the last 2 months, but I think what that helped with me was like be more consistent on social media, have more of a presence. Yeah. And like, that's damn near what got me that brick and mortar show. Like if I'm being real, like,
well, the Instagram page is your billboard, right? So whoever it was that you were talking to in brick and mortar, whether it was on Instagram or not, right? I mean, that's what they tuned in with to see, you know, who is Racel, what's Racel doing.
I always knew who I was, but I was just like, damn, like nobody tapping in for sure. So then I was like, I'm being consistent as fuck right now, and then like, it's kind of like that time when you least expect it, like. It pays off in a mysterious way and miraculous way because, you know, the universe and God tend to, like, go
it's like half and half because now, now you know that it was that.
Now I learned that it was, like, the consistency. Like, because if I was just, like, posting, like, once a month, I wouldn't have gotten that like, or that, like, just glance.
Yeah. You said something that makes me want to ask you about, because I feel like this happens when artists don't know like what goes into the process. Like you realize you can get 10-second clips off of it because now you're in the game enough to like understand like video shit. Like how much do you feel like that plays a part? Because if somebody doesn't know, right, then they don't even know what to film, I feel like, to get you 50 pieces. And then you don't have to do anything for the whole month. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody who like you were saying, can let that rock.
Yeah. I mean, I think that micro content in itself is exactly that, right? It's a small piece of content that people can consume. And just to top off what we were just talking about earlier, you know, the internet, you know, and pushing all your content, this will roll right into your question too, but the internet and being able to push all your content there reminds me of like a billboard on the freeway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So a billboard on the freeway has probably like the most exposure that any advertising agency could get you. Is going to be a billboard that's on the freeway. It's got millions of people driving by every single day. That doesn't mean that every single fucking company is going to put an ad up there and that it's going to hit for them, right? It's like, that's why if you pay attention, you'll see a lot of auto insurance and a lot of DUI attorneys and crash incident attorneys.
Injury lawyers.
Right. And that reason is because that makes sense for their audience. So just because it has the most reach doesn't mean it's going to make sense for everybody. But leaning into, you know, just that conversation we were having before, if you are going to flood the internet, I mean, that's where the most traffic is right now. People spend more than half of their fucking life staring at their phone, and out of that time, they're spending half of it on meta services, which are Facebook and Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's a real fucking sick thing that's going on, but that's where I think that lean-in happens. And so when you start thinking about that, you start thinking about, okay, well, if this is where content is getting consumed, and this is where I'm going to put, you know, this digital footprint where people can seek me out or stumble upon my page, and they're going to consume me as if they were consuming any of the other pages that they're sitting on there consuming, you know what I'm saying? What does that come with? Well, if I want to post consistently, am I going to pay $1,000 for a music video every single week and put it out there? No, probably not. You know what I'm saying? Am I still going to do that because I think it's still required as an artist to put full production music videos out? Well, yeah, I'm a video director. I 100% think you need full production music videos. You know what I'm saying? I think that's part of the game. But there's a conversation. We were just talking about it. There's a conversation where people are like, you really don't. So that might just be my bias. But continuing in, go ahead.
Other opinion is you can use those videos and turn it into content as well.
Exactly. So, it's all micro content, right?
During that 6 month run I had, that's what I did. I took old videos I wasn't even touching no more. I was promoting, added lyrics to it, just posted on Instagram and TikTok and left it at that.
I dropped a So Sacramento reel like 3 days ago. I got people commenting on that motherfucker like it's a new song, bro. That motherfucker dropped a year and a half ago.
That was hella
You know what I'm
funny,
saying? So
yeah.
I'm definitely on the same tip, but it just costs a lot of money, right? So talking to your question of what's the best way to go about that, what do you shoot? I mean, to me, if your music is the content that you're really getting behind, and this is really where you fuck with, right? I think I'm one of the dopest artists out. You know what I mean? That's why I want to shoot the content, because I think what I talk about is dope, and I think that the visibility goes up when you put a visual on it. Yeah, your phone ringing during the podcast. But the visibility goes up when you shoot a visual to it. So I try to figure out a way that could be efficient and cheap. Yeah, get the mic in your mouth, bro. It's way too far from you.
But blitz you right now.
You should get the mic in your mouth.
But you know, the ability to be able to take long form content, like an interview, like a 3-minute music video, like a podcast, something like that, and to be able to clip it up, well, that now really ups your efficiency. And the more that we do this, and the more we create content, the more that we produce podcasts, the more that we produce live performances and all the other things we're getting into, the more I realize that the efficiency aspect of it is super important. Is how fast can you replicate this without losing the quality? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to replicate a whole bunch of bullshit, because if we were going to do that, we can set up an iPhone and say, fuck a microphone, fuck a camera, and we could just do that, which is not a bad starting place. If that's the only tool you have, do that. But the elevation of, you know what I'm saying, okay, how can we maintain this content but still do it efficiently? That's why, you know, we've done a lot of live performances, and we've learned that like instruments and like live instrumentation really will throw a curveball in that. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that we learned early on was, you know, being in hip hop and having somebody rap to a backtrack compared to going up and setting a live performance for somebody that's trying to mic drums and a guitar and a fucking bass. Well, you're not doing that in 20 minutes. You know what I mean? We could go knock out content for fucking 15 artists in the city in an hour and a half. Bless you. In an hour and a half. And everybody can have 4K quality content. We've seen it put out there. We've seen with the Freestyle Friday ciphers. We've seen this content that gets provided that can be high quality content that gets into these other people's algorithms, and other people get to consume this content as if it's their content, and people love that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I think that comes back down to when you're watching, if you're a true consumer, which I think we're somewhere in the middle ground. I think that we're a little bit further away from true consumerisms, because I think we're so biased into looking at it because of how we also create in it.
We for sure not true consumers.
Yeah, but there are true consumers that really just get on and they look up Gwen Stefani, and then when they scroll to the next one, it's you. You know what I mean? And if the quality and the audio is there enough to where they don't even notice the difference, they're gonna consume it. They're gonna shoot you a follow, and you just got a fan. You know what I'm saying? If you look like a beginning start off artist with lower quality, not to say that that's not gonna happen, but I think that now that you're more selling like your journey, which is something that we've talked about in the past too, which I think that's almost just as valuable. If all you have is the iPhone 7, bro, and it's got a cracked screen and a cracked camera, and that's why you're looking at me in my face, telling me so I'm not dropping content. I'm gonna tell you you're capping. You know what I'm saying? Set that motherfucker up and get to it. Let me hear you rap something. Shout out Chaos the motherfucking rapper.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Watch him build up the whole YouTube short. Yeah, go check out Chaos the Rapper's YouTube. He's lit. YouTube shorts going nuts. He got the captions on. He knows what's happening. It's dope, bro. Has he blown up off it? No. Is there real fans in his comments right now that have never heard of him that are on his YouTube? For sure. You know what I'm saying? As an artist, that's what we want, right? We want to reach new people that our art actually relates with, that people are like, hey, man, thank you for fucking enlightening me and helping me have an understanding of life. Thank you for relating with me and making me feel like I'm not alone. Thank you for fucking pushing me to keep going. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is. I mean, I feel like a lot of us make music for that, whether it's to heal ourselves or to heal the people around us. You know what I'm saying? None of us in here rap about pulling up on people and shooting people. You know what I'm saying? And if that's your lane, no smoke. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. It's regular. You know what I mean?
It's good, bro.
It's all good. But just really speaking to that shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, we make music, I feel like that's very, you know, it's soulful, bro. So it's like to be able to touch people, bro. I see Chaos the Rapper. I see him put his pain and shit in his music. So it's nice to be able to see real consumers show him some love and recognize that talent. You know what I'm saying? Shout out YouTube Shorts and shout out him for uploading it.
I think in that too, like I said in the beginning, I feel like it just gets lost that you're supposed to be real to yourself. Like when you do shoot this stuff, like whatever you shoot, like Chaos has to shoot some shit like that because that's who he is. He's the last lyricist left, right? You know what I'm saying? So it has to be him showcasing, you know, his bars. You know, John Wild has like guitar music, so him playing the guitar and shit is only natural. You know, somebody who really fucks with performing live has to show themselves performing live in some way, shape, or form, like because that's what it is that they do. And I feel like if you can simplify it in that way, it doesn't mean that it's going to be easy, but at least it won't feel like a gimmick, because it shouldn't feel like a gimmick either to you or anybody else, really. But.
Lil Darky.
Yeah.
Right? Brings up the conversation with Lil Darky. Bro went 2D. He went with drawings. He went consistent with drawings and art. And
that's what he fucked with, right?
Yeah, bro. He made himself an art character. I mean, I'm Lil Darky. Wild. I'm a rapper in 2D world. I'm on paper. You know what I'm saying? And then as he elevated, he found animators and shit that are out the country, and now he's got music videos that are animations. You know what I'm saying? But it didn't start like that. It started with the iPhone 6, which for him was drawings. You know what I mean? Mike, shout out Big Mike, still got sweaters he wears around that are like Generation 1 Spider Gang merchandise that they were like making with 3D paint on their fucking sweaters. You know what I mean? And then taking that shit out and selling it at their shows that had fucking 50 people. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, now those motherfuckers have toured Europe. You know what I mean? The motherfuckers a cartoon, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like just really leaning into what works for you. You know what I'm saying? I think it's facts.
Who are you outside of the music? Because everybody has different, you know, appeals. There's a reason you're making music. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, bro. 10 bands, 10 bands, 10 bands, 10 bands.
10 bands.
Hey, we go. And now that's the thing at the beginning. Oh shit! I forgot. 30 minutes.
It's 23.
Can y'all put that sleep part? It's like a blooper. Send that to me.
What, the sleep? Oh yeah. You gonna get 50.
That's fire. You have a timer, so now we'll never miss it.
Hey, that's real shit too, though. That you. Yeah, I know.
You said that I would.
No, I mean, without noticing, you were like, "Oh, bro, I just don't have a good home life right now." Basically, like that's real shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's important too.
We're gonna block that. I might get cussed out later.
Nah, she don't be tapping in. You know that.
Nah, she don't.
Oh my god,
she don't even got me on Instagram. You used to do it.
The okay.
I don't even know who he's talking about.
She don't even got me on Instagram, so it's all. She don't got a Instagram, so it's good.
Yeah, that is good. But yeah, man. I mean, there's. John Wild for sure said, I know we brought up his name a couple times, but he said he was definitely one of the ones that in his groundwork interview, he was like, you know what I'm saying, marketing shouldn't feel like marketing. It should feel organic, you know what I'm saying? And it should feel like...
Especially in what we do.
Yeah, bro, 100%. You know, my favorite thing right now to do is run and gun promos. Like, last night, shout out XL Smoke Shop, you know what I'm saying? Shout out Main Stage. Being at their event, being able to cover it with just really going out there and covering it in real time, you know what I'm saying? Just I don't know, bro. That shit didn't feel like a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have to do much besides just be them. You know what I'm saying? I think that's one of the dope things about that shit is you could just kind of turn it on me, bro. I love that my hair is always fucked up in my lyric videos. You know why? Because when I walk around, this is what this motherfucker look like. You know what I mean?
Man, I saw a video that made me think about you too, when they were saying that somebody was talking about how like the rapper fit or whatever, like how they were like, what the fuck are you talking about? The rapper fit is whatever, you feel like you need to wear.
It could be the most coziest thing in the world.
Yeah, but it could be janky as hell though. Like as long as it's you know what I'm saying? Like yeah, exactly.
Have y'all seen Hobson?
You're not trying.
Like, have y'all seen Hobson? Like that's his
Have
rapper.
y'all seen Hobson?
Like
you talking about Ill Mind, bro?
Yeah, bro. Like
he's a fucking gimmick. He wanted to eat a fucking cockroach.
That's his
Bro,
fucking.
I ain't gonna lie.
That's
Since we
his
talking
rap
about
fit,
it, I
though.
really don't fuck with Hobson for that specific reason.
You
Like,
hate on
my
Tyler?
nigga, yeah, he dissed Tyler the
Hey,
Creator.
but-
I still ain't let that shit
like
go.
the shit, like even like the shit
I
that
still
Tyler
ain't
the
let that
Creator
slide.
wears, like that's his rapper fit. That's like his cozy zone.
Bro, he went from a goon to a businessman. No, a goblin to a businessman, bro. You know what I mean?
He's both. It
I
doesn't
ain't
matter.
gonna lie.
He's
Tyler
still
the
a
Creator
goblin.
had probably the biggest
He had the best
fucking
character development.
180.
Yeah, bro.
Character development.
Wild, bro.
And then the shots
Shout
of
out, bro.
super stardom.
This nigga went from wanting to kick babies
Bro, he
to
went-
now signing babies and giving them forehead kisses.
Bro, he went from
Underground
banned in
LA.
countries and shit like
Underground LA to real life A-list for real.
to Grammys.
To
I'm
Grammys.
inspired.
You know what I mean?
Brody did that.
Talking about, I swear to God, first time I met, shout out my brother Mike Jordan and shout out my other bro Mike Solis. He don't fuck with me no more, but that was my dog back in the day, you know what I'm saying? But look, man, he told me, check out this devil music they're making out in LA. And then he turned on Tyler the Creator, Bastard, bro, 2011. I'll never forget that shit, bro. Talking about,
switch up.
hey, Tyler, it's good to see you today. You remember that one? He like
Yeah,
interviewing
stupid.
himself and shit.
Oh, God.
I promise you, talking about
He was
listening to
hard.
this devil music. And I was like, I promise you, we're in there
Honestly, bro, the
Hard.
like, crazy.
Like, bro, he's going crazy.
And then
He's
he ate
talking
a
to himself.
cockroach, bro. And it was Yonkers, it was over with after that.
he said, "I'm a fucking walking paradox." Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's crazy because when you think back on that shit now, he really was.
he is.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to Shelly though for,
He
for
really
introducing
was.
me to Tyler the Creator in our future.
That's crazy.
And my boy Shelly.
You know Earl Sweatshirt be around the studio?
Nah,
Some people call him Vault Rob, but it's Earl.
they call Shelly Earl Sweatshirt too, but I think he might be J. Cole or Drake with Dreads.
Who?
I have no clue.
G Cruising?
Nah, my boy Shelly.
Oh. I think G Cruising ghosting for that one dude. I wish I knew. That's G Cruising.
Oh, you think Steve Lacy really G cruising on the low?
I swear to
Oh,
God.
hey, wait. In the last 2 minutes, we should talk about bro because remember when bro
Who? We just talked about
Steve Lacy.
Okay.
he said his name. I saw an Instagram thing earlier because you know how he was like really like throwing phones and shit at the.
He threw temper tantrums on stage.
Yeah, he was like, "Fuck you guys," because they only knew that one.
But
line
he sounded
of
so
that
generous
one
when he said it though. Like,
TikTok song.
Fuck you guys.
yeah, it sounded like
That
so
was like
nice.
that was like one of the things that I seen pop up recently too. It was like on YouTube where they were like,
Yeah.
what they were like examining what the like social media shit did. But when I looked at that, I was like, well, he's got a label,
Yeah.
and so the label is gonna do
What they do.
whatever they need to do.
Nah,
So
keep-
you
keep
gotta
throwing
eat
those
that.
phones, bro.
When you're like signed as a label, you don't get to.
Choose and decide.
Yeah, like so he got whatever they gave him. And it's like, damn.
Steve Lacy not indie.
Nah.
No.
I saw a dude on Instagram Reels saying that he was gonna promote the hook of his song until it blew up, and all he's been promoting is Reels that just has the 8-bar hook. I swear to God, bro, they're starting to go like a couple
Yeah.
100,000,
Straight up,
200,000. Yeah, it's starting to go, but it speaks to that thing of like, okay, well, you go on stage, and now the only thing people know is the hook. Does that matter?
And they leave.
Find out next time.
And yeah, hey, but yeah, exactly. But to end with that, for Steve Lacy, it matters, but he doesn't get to choose. Like that damn near becomes a label situation. So yeah,
Hey, my dog right here, he got something to say. Go ahead, let him know, bro.
Nah.
You want me to let him know?
I need you to like film me like setting up somewhere else and doing it.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna still let them know right now. Make sure when hey, this is my dog Ray Sell. You know what I mean? We call him Ray for short. You know what I mean? I called him Russell for my first. You know what I mean? Wow,
That's crazy.
I get it.
Definitely
You know
did
what I
too.
mean?
That's crazy.
Ray Sell.
I'm not gonna cap. I
That's
did too.
crazy.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna
sure.
lie, bro. I called that nigga Razzle Dazzle. Like that's
I know the camera already turned off, so we probably
yeah.
gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Chico-
We
He
gonna
pressed the
record
button.
the outro.
Okay, go ahead.
He pressed the button.
Go ahead.
Okay, hey man, thanks so much for tuning in to the motherfucking CSSB podcast, motherfucking roundtable conversation with my motherfucking dogs. I'm Josh Jordan.
My name is Magiano.
G-Code.
And I'm Raycel from Juju Gallery. I
Peace
don't know
out,
if I said that
bitch.
shit right.